This week on The Splash, experiencing fall through nature walks, keeping your eyes safe during this Halloween season, and a look back at 200 episodes. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustion. The weather in Michigan is changing quickly, and the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary gives our local community the opportunity to explore the fall beauty that Michigan has to offer. Local naturalist Carol Fink led a fall nature walk through the sanctuary to point out all the unique changes that happen during fall in Michigan. I walked and talked with her about what the outdoors in these nature walks mean to her. Oh, hey, don't mind me. Just enjoying the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary. Come join us on our fall nature walk. Fall in Michigan is the perfect time to bundle up, grab a friend, and head over to the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary to take a walk. With tons of different trails and plant species to see, you may need to join Carol Fink for a guided tour. Carol is a naturalist and expert in all things nature, teaching the group as they get their steps in.
You're walking around, and we're in a hurry. Some of you might have seen this before. And the beauty...
Carol has been sharing her knowledge and passion for nature with others for many years through these guided walks, which allow people of all ages to experience the woods while exercising.
I think one of the favorite things is watching people, when they first show up, they're kind of like a little bit, they park in a different parking lot and a little of that edge. And once you're out in nature and breathing the oxygen and feeling the beauty of the woods, seeing people just relax and slow down. Plus, once again, every leaf on every tree is a miracle. So I'm blown away by every step I take, which is why it takes me so long to do a nature hike. Doing some portaging. Remember canoes? That was the big truck travel. That's how people got around. By taking either the Huron, the Clinton, or the Rouge, that's how the Native Americans could get down to Lake Erie, River Rouge, out eventually down to Lake St. Clair, down, up to Lake Huron. They had these routes that would go up for the, for the beaver trade and the trade. So this island shares the headwaters of three major river systems.
As the nature walks took a hiatus during the pandemic, Carol is ecstatic to be able to share the outdoors with others in the greater West Bloomfield community again.
Oh, bravo. I've been affiliated with Community Ed and Parks and Rec. I've always been in love with nature, whether I'm farming or running nature hikes. I just love it. It's a big part of me. It is me. Everybody needs fresh air, sunshine, and exercise, and the woods is one of the best places to experience all three, plus a great sense of peace and balance in the world. I love the woods. Type of oak trees, or leaves that go to two different oak trees. And a lot of action going on here. We've got some insects eating. We've got something had laid in some type of an egg or a larva over here. But the way that you can identify, like say an oak tree, is the way that you identify trees. One way by their leaves or how the stems grow.
With the gorgeous fall season ahead of us, make sure you come on down and visit the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary to see all that it has to offer before it gets a little bit too cold for comfort. Reporting from The Splash, I'm Maddie Mustion. For more information, you can visit civiccentertv.com/fallnaturewalk. With Halloween this weekend, your children will be sauntering from spook to scare. Collecting candy can have its risks, however, one of them being eye safety. We talked with Amanda Salter about what you can do to your costume to prevent injury and harm. Reporter Calvin Brown has a story.
Halloween is steadily approaching. As chances for candy earnings increase, one risk you don't want to increase is costume-related injuries to your eyes. Dr. Amanda Salter joined the Oakland County Megacast to give great eye safety tips for children and adults dressing up this Halloween.
The best thing to do is see your eye doctor and get a prescription contact lens, whether it be a regular contact lens or a colored or a costume lens.
Dr. Salter explains that you can get prescribed contact lenses to replace any non-prescription lenses that enhance your costume.
That way it's fitted to your eye, and you learn how to properly care for it and keep it clean. And usually for the costume contact lenses, you want to limit the wear to about 4 or 5 hours because they're not quite as breathable.
Remember to keep track of time when using contact lenses. Overuse can cause dryness and damage. If that's not an option, there's still precautions you can take to keep your peepers safe. According to Dr. Salter, if you use any accessory that makes contact with your eyelid, you should regularly wash your lids to prevent damage and fatigue. Ask your doctor what over-the-counter cleaners you can use to keep your lids in tip-top shape.
If you feel that you've gotten a piece of glitter or anything in your eye, it's always a good idea to flush your eye out, and you can do that either with water from the sink, or they do make an eye wash that you can get over the counter at the drugstore.
Washing your eyes regularly is always a safe bet to keep them from harm. But what about other non-facial accessories, like props or weapons?
So many of these are actually sharp, even though they're plastic, and that can be a harmful issue if you were to fall on your travels while you're trick-or-treating.
Switching to softer materials for your costume can boost your suit from hazardous to terrifyingly safe. If you feel you may have suffered some damage to your eye, consult your eye doctor for proper examination. Nothing is scarier on Halloween than a damaged eyeball. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Calvin Brown.
To find out more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/Halloween eye safety. Halloween is just around the corner, and reporter Tyler Kieft asked the staff at Sylvan Table to share some of their favorite things about the spooky holiday.
This year for Halloween, I'm going dressed as a TV reporter. Greater West Bloomfield, what are your Halloween plans?
Now, every year we go to a friend's party, and there's myself and my friend and our husbands, and we always dress up as a foursome. So we have been Mount Rushmore, we've been ABBA, we've been One Direction, we were the candidates for the 2016 election. All sorts of fun things. We've been IKEA, all in bags with meatballs on our heads. And this year, I don't know. I really don't know. So we might do an ABBA revival, because seeing as they're all going back on tour with this new virtual tour of theirs. So who knows? We only usually decide about a day before.
I'm debating between Wonder Woman and Storm. I'm not sure yet, but those are my top two.
I'm going as an old hippie, so I'm not dressing up.
I'm going to be a cat.
Ooh, I haven't thought about it. However, I do have a t-shirt that I wear every single year that says "Eat, Drink, and Be Witchy." So I'll probably bring that out again.
Great answers, Greater West Bloomfield. Those will keep me entertained all the way through Halloween. In the meantime, I'll be here testing the waters. This is ice. It's not quite there yet.
For more episodes of Testing the Waters, visit civiccentertv.com's on-demand page. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, I'll talk with Midday Anchor with WWJ, Brooke Allen.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Better reproductive health is in our hands. When I needed an STI test,
help getting on the pill,
my annual wellness visit,
advice on how to be safe, help was at my fingertips. Family planning clinics offer confidential, low-cost services to young adults like us. Get started at michigan.gov/family planning.
Let's catch up. Not online or over text. Let's catch up in a place where time isn't measured in minutes, but in moments. Moments made paddling the day away on a crystal blue waterway. Or just sitting around a campfire beneath a canopy of twinkling stars. It's time to make up for lost time. This summer, let's catch up with Pure Michigan.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustion. This week I'm joined by longtime host of The Splash and Midday Anchor with WWJ, Brooke Allen. Brooke, how you doing today?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. So our audience obviously knows you, but will you tell us a little bit about what you do at WWJ and maybe a day-to-day role for you?
Okay, well, I'm the Midday Anchor on WWJ. I've been in this spot for about a year and a half. Right now, I'm still in our studios. I'm coming to you from the Sunny Elliott room in Southfield, and it's just full of breaking news. I do middays, so I'm able to kind of lighten it up a little bit as far as the death and mayhem sometimes that we encounter. But it's a lot of fun, but it definitely keeps you on your toes.
And during your time hosting The Splash, what was one of your favorite stories that you recover as a host?
You know what, there's been so many people, and what's so interesting is obviously when I'm at Jay, I don't get to meet a lot of people because I'm not out, I'm in the studio, but hosting The Splash for so long, a lot of fun, and gave me the opportunity to meet so many people in the community who I maybe would not have met otherwise. And so what was interesting, though, is about the dual role is that I was able to meet somebody doing The Splash, and then what do you know? Maybe a couple weeks later, they would end up on WWJ. So it was a good tie-in.
And did you have a favorite interviewee or something that one of our reporters covered that kind of stood out to you?
Oh, you know what? There have been so many, but I know everyone there would agree that Steve Acho is one of our favorites. We love Steve, and of course, all the other people I know. When I met Howard Tapper in person, he was just great. So there's so many, I can't really break it down. Steve comes to mind, obviously, because he's an entertainer and lives in West Bloomfield, and we've gotten to know each other pretty well.
Yeah, there's always some great guests here in Greater West Bloomfield. And with The Splash, we try to cover local events and people that are very important to the Greater West Bloomfield community. Can you speak on a little bit about the importance of The Splash and what it gives to the viewers and the community here at the Greater West Bloomfield community?
Well, again, I think it all goes back to being part of the community and just trying to establish yourself, and actually being, when you're out in the community covering something, you become part of the community. And I think that's exactly, what The Splash's mission has been. And, it's just so awesome. This is the 200th episode. So many hosts have come and gone, obviously, but it's just a great experience, and I'm so happy to have been a part of it.
And for the 200th episode, do you have anything that you want to say to the viewers? Obviously, you mentioned that there's been a ton of hosts over the past 200 episodes, but is there one thing that you want to say to the viewers?
You know what, honestly, just thank you, for being so hospitable the time I was with you, and allowing me to become part of your story, and also allowing me to share your story. You know what, I always love when I hear from somebody in my work email here, and they say, oh, well, I met you when you were hosting The Splash or whatever. So, I just love that. And it's just such a great community, and there's just so many people there. It's hard to break it all down. But, I, again, just thank you for letting me be a part of it. And I hope to, be able to see everyone soon again after all of this is over. After we get through the pandemic, right?
Yes, of course. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Brooke, and good luck at WWJ.
Okay, thanks. You take care.
Once again, we've been joined by Brooke Allen, longtime host of The Splash and Midday Anchor with WWJ. We're going to take one final break, and when we return, we will spotlight the many people throughout the years who have had a hand in the legacy of The Splash in honor of our 200th episode.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'll be seeing you in all of our favorite places, with laughter and warm embraces all day through. The park where we play, the stoop across the way, that favorite cookie smell, and Big Bird's tree we love so well. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
I love you too.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
I'll be seeing you.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustion. Many people have helped make The Splash what it is today, from Civic Center TV staff to those of you out in the community. As we conclude our 200th episode, we take a look back to recognize all who have made The Splash what it is today. Here's Splash reporter Tyler Kieft in a special edition of our segment, Person of the Week.
The Splash is Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show. Since 2016, this weekly show has recorded events, projects, history, memories.
Hello and welcome to the very first episode of The Splash. I'm your host, Jonathan Jackson.
Welcome to The Splash. 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 Welcome to The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Maddie Mustion.
But what comes out each week as roughly a half hour of news with a little talk has from its onset been the reaction of passion, hard work, communication, leadership, and community. Created by Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission Executive Director Dave Alberry, The Splash was always intended to be a vehicle to drive the community closer together, to keep you, the viewer, informed about your hometown, and to spark new relationships between our four special communities as one collective, Greater West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV has had the honor and pleasure of exceptional leadership guiding this program for over 5 years. Leaders like Jonathan Jackson, the original producer and host of Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show, and Brooke Allen, both whose attention to detail and careful understanding of each corner of our community was evident in every story that they filed, every interview that they led, and in the way that they not only grew to love Greater West Bloomfield, but how Greater West Bloomfield grew to love them. It's people like George Moore, who was as much a great reporter for our area as much as he was a great friend of Greater West Bloomfield. And leaders such as Danny Mann and Katie Wozniak, who led the way in the training and guidance of staff reporters, photojournalists, editors, and the entire Civic Center TV team. These women set the standard for excellent community television producing, the standard for which all who followed them are held and strive to exceed. The Splash has never been about the few, always about the many. From our team to the community, 200 episodes were produced together. So on this, our 200th edition of the show, we give our gratitude to all who have produced the show, to the hosts, the reporters, the editors, the guests, from the moments we celebrated our volunteers, to those when we were on the sidewalk, talking, and salute them on a job well done. Done by our people of the week.
For all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and of course West Bloomfield, I'm Jonathan Jackson.
I'm Sheena Monin.
I'm Brooke Allen.
I'm Maddie Mustion.
And we want to thank you all for watching.
And that's it for this week's show. We will return soon with a new episode of The Splash. In the meantime, you can watch new episodes anytime online in HD on CivicCenterTV.com, as well as on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mustion. Thank you for watching The Splash.